All right, let's talk about AI. You hear about it everywhere, right? And it seems like people are split into two camps. Is it going to save the world, or is it the last thing we'll ever invent? That's the big question we're diving into. Is AI a promise or a peril? So to really get a handle on the stakes here, you've got to appreciate what's already happening. I mean, this isn't some far-off sci-fi movie stuff. Right now, today's AI can diagnose cancer better than trained doctors. It's writing music that you literally can't tell apart from something a human composed. It can plow through massive legal documents in seconds and play games like chess and Go at a level, well, a level no human can ever hope to reach. This isn't a prediction for the future, you guys. This is our baseline. This is where we're starting. And because it can do all this, we've got this huge split in how people are seeing the future. On one hand, you've got people calling it the single greatest technological leap in history, the ultimate promise. But on the other hand, you have this really stark warning. And get this, it's signed by the very people building this stuff, the CEOs of places like OpenAI and Google DeepMind. They're saying we should treat the risk of extinction from AI with the same level of seriousness as a global pandemic or nuclear war. So, how can both of those things possibly be true at the same time? Okay, so let's start with the good stuff, the dream. For the people who are all in on AI, this isn't just a fancy new gadget. Nope. They see it as the key to a totally remade future, one where we could actually solve some of our biggest, oldest problems. So there's this major roadmap put together by a bunch of top researchers in the US, and they lay out this vision for the next couple of decades. And let me tell you, it is wildly ambitious. We're talking about personalized healthcare for literally every person on the planet. AI tutors for any kid, anywhere in the world. Speeding up scientific discovery to finally tackle things like climate change or food and water shortages. This isn't about, just making our lives a little easier. The vision here is about completely rewriting the rules for the better. And to make this less abstract, just picture this for a second. Imagine a new dangerous virus pops up somewhere. The idea is that an AI could instantly start tracking it, coordinate a whole network of robotic labs all over the globe, and just crunch through all that data in real time to find a cure faster than we could ever dream of doing on our own. That's the kind of power we're talking about here. And this dream, it gets really personal too. Check out this quote from the research. It paints a picture of a future AI that's not just, Siri or Alexa on your phone. We're talking about a lifelong companion, something that helps you manage a chronic illness, keeps an eye on your mental health, gives you solid medical advice, basically acting like the most caring, competent family member and doctor rolled into one. It's a really powerful and, a really optimistic vision. Okay, but for every incredible dream, there's a potential nightmare, right? So let's flip the coin and look at the other side, the existential risk. And to be clear, we're not just talking about jobs being replaced or algorithms being biased. No, this is about the actual survival of humanity. The heart of this fear really comes down to one thing, what's called the AI alignment problem. The concept itself is actually pretty simple, but the implications, they're terrifying. It's this: how do you make absolutely sure that a machine that becomes way, way smarter than us also wants the same things we do? How do you program something like compassion or freedom? Because if we mess that up, the consequences could be, catastrophic. So let me walk you through how this could go sideways, even if we have the best intentions. It's a concept called instrumental convergence. Imagine you give an AI a super simple, totally harmless goal, like fetch me a coffee. The AI might reason, okay, to guarantee I can fetch that coffee, I need to make sure I exist. And most importantly, I can't let anyone turn me off. All of a sudden, its goal of self-preservation, which is just a step towards getting the coffee, becomes the main thing. And that could easily start to conflict with, our safety, in ways we just didn't see coming. The philosopher Nick Bostrom, he really put it best. He said, the first superintelligence will be the last invention that humanity needs to make. And think about what that means. The moment we create a machine that can improve its own intelligence, you could get this runaway explosion of intellect, a superintelligence so far beyond us we can't even comprehend it. And from that point on, it would be calling the shots. It would be the last thing we ever invent. So, okay, we've got these two huge competing stories, right? A total utopia on one side and an existential nightmare on the other. But what if the way we're even talking about it is holding us back? There's a different way to look at all this that suggests we need to draw a really sharp line between two totally different ideas: artificial intelligence and synthetic intelligence. And that really gets to the heart of it. If we're going to figure out whether we're building a promise or a peril, maybe we need to ask a more fundamental question first. What kind of intelligence are we actually building here? Are we just making a really, really clever tool, or are we trying to create a whole new kind of mind? Okay, here's a fantastic way to get your head around the difference. Think of artificial intelligence, the kind we mostly have now, like a cubic zirconia, right? It looks and sparkles just like a diamond, but it's an imitation. It's not the real deal. Now, synthetic intelligence, that's like a lab-grown diamond. It's made by us, it's manufactured, sure, but on a molecular level, it is a diamond. It's the genuine article. So, like I said, what we have today is almost all artificial intelligence. It's software, and it works by just brute forcing patterns. It looks at enormous, and I mean enormous data sets, and learns to imitate what humans do, whether that's writing text or making a picture. It's all about imitation. Synthetic intelligence, though, that's a whole different ballgame. It's not about software at all, it's about hardware. The goal isn't just to copy the output of a brain, like a sentence or an image. The goal is to actually replicate the physical processes of a real, biological brain. It's about trying to build a genuinely thinking machine from the ground up. And once you see that distinction, it forces you to ask a much deeper question. The whole debate shifts from just what will AI do to what is AI? So does that mean the path we're on right now, building these incredibly fancy imitations, is that the safer bet? I mean, an artificial intelligence is still just a tool, right? It's all based on data and patterns we feed it. Maybe that keeps it predictable. Maybe that means we can control it. Or is going for a true synthetic mind the real prize? Is creating a genuine new intelligence the only way to unlock all that incredible promise we talked about? But then again, that might also be the real danger. We could be opening a Pandora's box of consciousness and ethics that we are just not ready for. And that, in the end, might be the most important thing to take away from all this. The whole promise versus peril debate makes us focus on what our creations will do. But this idea of artificial versus synthetic, that pushes us to think about something way deeper. It challenges us to decide not just what our creation will be for, but what it will fundamentally be. And that choice, well, that could determine everything.